Hi, this is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com, DevOps TV here at DOES San Francisco 2016. And I'm joined by two friends from HPE. Patrick, why don't you kick off, introduce yourself?
Yeah, Patrick Eitenbichler. I'm part of the HPE Technology Services team, and we're located in Fort Collins, Colorado.
And I'm Andy Claiborne. I'm also on Patrick's team. So,
also in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Also Fort Collins, yeah.
Go Colorado. So guys, we were talking a little bit off camera before we started, and what we wanted to talk about today, of course, was this whole notion that part and parcel of the DevOps experience, if you will, is the not the preference for, but the availability of a lot of great open source tools. Right, and you look at a company like HPE or an IBM or a CA or Microsoft, any of the big companies, they tend to have these big monolithic kind of platforms and suites and tools. But really, what we've seen as part of DevOps is this adoption of not guerrilla software, but smaller, more agile, if that's not a bad word to use, smaller, more agile, kind of single use, not throwaway, but for specific purpose sort of thing. And one of the fallacies, I've been involved in open source software for more years than I care to admit, is that open source software could be free as in beer or free as in freedom. And free as in beer is an illusion, right? Because open source software, total cost of ownership, sometimes can be on par, if not more than,
right,
commercial software. And you guys have had a similar experience, or in dealing with your customers. Why don't you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So we see our customers see these tools that grow from the open source communities as being these super effective solutions for solving their DevOps kinds of problems. But like you said, in order to find somebody who, like for example, is super fluent in Chef or super fluent in Puppet or Ansible or any of these technologies can actually stand up a continuous delivery pipeline, those people cost a lot of money. And these customers of ours, they have dedicated workforces, like really smart people. Maybe they have a few automation champions throughout the organization, but it takes a long time for those people to come up and be successful. So kind of what our team does is we go in and we do we call it ABC, advice, best practices, and coaching. And the whole goal is to make our customers successful at adopting these tools so that then they can get the business value from it faster.
So like Andy mentioned, we talk to a lot of customers and we find them in that situation that they've tried to adopt a monolithic tool, and they had to pay for a lot of professional services for 6 months, a year, 2 years to get it up and running, to do everything under the sun that was promised, and half the time it ends up on the shelf because the world has changed in those 2 years and they're not ready. With the open source tools, everybody you see on the show floor here at DOES 2016, those tools can be implemented much more quickly, and the customers see the benefit much more quickly. But to Andy's point, many times they don't have the skill set, or they have people that may have been with their companies for 10 years. They have a different skill set. They need to come up to speed with those new tools. And that's where they need help. They need the training, they need the coaching, they need the code reviews, they need the enablement to get going.
Yeah, and it's totally things that there's not some secret of that the customers couldn't figure out on their own. It's just it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears a lot of times to become fluent. And so we try to kind of just smooth that transition and help them come up to speed faster.
So there's a certain irony, though, that I'm sitting here with HPE, right, talking about how you help your customers adopt and use smaller open source tools. But isn't that with the state of the world today, right? That's how the worm is turned.
But it's actually interesting. The customers that we talk to, and we talk from Fortune 100 all the way down, are very, very different because the world is very diverse. So there are customers who will want to continue to go with packaged software. They want the professional services. They want somebody to take care of it. And there are others that want to move much faster with smaller tools, want to script themselves and get it going. And that's the beauty of it. It's not one size fits all. We can help them no matter where they're at. Right?
Excellent. So there's a lot obviously going on in the HPE world between divestitures and mergers and divestitures. You had a chance to interview a few of the HPE people this week here at DOES. Where does your division fit into all of this now?
So we mentioned at the beginning HPE Technology Services. That group is focused on supporting customers that buy HP products. So whether a customer buys HP server, storage, networking, wireless networking, they buy the support contracts to ensure that they have the uptime that they're looking for. And then, like Andy mentioned earlier, we add value on top of that by enabling them to use those open source tools to accelerate the move towards
So
DevOps.
you're not in the software.
Not in the
Right.
That's
software
going to
or
be spun
the
off.
Yeah,
Right.
so we're pretty safely within the umbrella of go forward HPE.
Safe's a relative word.
Well, yeah, okay. There's not immediate plans to be spun
Right,
off
but
anywhere.
you're in the middle of that anyway. Well, guys, look, one last question to you. What do you think it does this year of this show, DevOps Enterprise Summit?
I thought the speakers were excellent. Me personally, I love the customer stories who all tell of where they have come from for the past couple of years and where they've gone. And not surprisingly, but it's interesting to see how those stories are very similar. So everybody is running into similar challenges and overcome them slightly differently, but they all move forward and they're getting closer to the prize at the end, the promise of DevOps.
Yeah, and as Patrick said, the speakers have been fabulous, but what I really liked is seeing how different companies have measured and quantified the kinds of improvements that they're seeing, because so often, like in my career and with the customers that I see, like I feel an improvement and it feels like qualitatively so much better, but it's great to see how people have attached numbers to it and like have demonstrated their success over time. So
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you very much for being our guest here at DevOps.com's DevOps TV. Glad you enjoyed DOES. It was great hearing about this. Maybe we can find out more about this one, maybe an article or something on DevOps.com.
perfect.
Sounds
Cool.
great. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com DevOps TV here at DOES 2016 San Francisco.